Hey everybody, what's going on? Helmlight here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. It's Tuesday and the patch notes for patch 7.17 have just been posted, and that means it's time for another patch note rundown. As always, I'll be going through the biggest changes of this week's patch, as well as letting you guys know what to look forward to in the coming weeks. Patch 7.17 is very small. I barely had enough content to fill out a whole video, so there is not much going into this patch, just a few more last-minute tweaks before we're getting into the World's patch, which will be 7.18. So there won't be much, but bear with me, we will get to most everything that is changed in this patch. First up, Ornn is going to be in this patch. He is coming out sometime over the duration. It's going to be great fun. I can't wait to play this guy. I think he looks like he's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see how he performs on the big stage. Next up, Invasion game mode will also be in this patch. That's the Star Guardian game mode that people have been excited about. I think it looks like it's going to be really fun. Obviously, there's a reduced cast, but I still think that the game looks like it's a very interesting take on League of Legends, and I can't wait to try it out myself. Next up, onto champion balance changes, is Draven. Draven is getting nerfed a little bit. Right now, the problem with him is the counterplay to Draven is basically prevent him from snowballing, because he almost has to snowball in order to leave lane in a decent spot. And the biggest issue with that right now is that's not really a viable strategy. Draven is just too hard to prevent from snowballing. He gets the one kill he needs, and he just absolutely goes away with the game. So Riot are nerfing him so that if he's not performing well, he gets punished a lot more. His passive stack loss on death has been increased to 75% from 50%, and his base gold gain was reduced to 25 from 50. So if Draven is not getting the stacks he needs, or if Draven is dying, he loses a lot more of his stacks and has to start over from scratch. Ezreal is getting buffed in this patch. He has a very lackluster early game at the moment, mostly due to the enchanter overload that's kind of happening in the bot lane, but he also just doesn't spike as hard in the mid game. So Riot are helping him out by increasing the potency of his early game and also increasing the strength of his mid game power spike when he finishes his Tear of the Goddess and his Trinity Force. For his Q's total AD ratio has been slightly increased to compensate, should make him feel like he has a little bit more oomph in the mid game and in the early game while poking. Next up, Hecarim is getting some changes. Right now, he has this combo where he kind of gallops at you, but he doesn't hit you with the E. He just ults immediately to get you to go fear backwards. And it feels like a really weird combo, especially for this big, scary pony like Hecarim. So Riot are changing him in a way that will prevent this strategy from being optimal, let's say. His E duration won't tick down while he's in his ultimate, and his ultimate's fear will now scale based on the total distance he's traveled. So at point blank, ult will only fear for 0.75 seconds as opposed to 1 full second, but it scales up to 1.5 seconds if he travels the full distance. Hecarim will feel a lot better about long distance engagements, and it also makes it so that his max range ult into E combo is actually a thing that could be done, and I feel like that could actually be really strong. So it's not really a buff, not really a nerf, just a bit of an adjustment for Hecarim. Leona is getting buffed as well. The biggest problem with her is that she tends to perform well at lower ranks, but she struggles whenever she's played at the top echelon of League of Legends just because of how binary her kit is. So Riot are buffing her in situations where she's more in lockstep with her AD carry in the laning phase, and also giving her a little bit more to do in team fights, as right now she doesn't really have much to do once the initial initiation is done. First, her passive duration was reduced, but the damage was increased, so if her AD carry is immediately responding to her going in, she'll get more damage. And her Q cooldown was normalized to 6 seconds, whereas it used to start at 9 and scale down with rank. So Leona should have a little bit more to do in team fights, walk around bashing people with shields, and if she's coordinating well with her AD carry, she'll deal significantly more damage. Next up, we have Urgot. He's getting buffed. He's been underperforming slightly at the moment just because of a lot of quality of life things that just aren't really working out for Urgot. So it's nice to see that these changes are coming through. First up, Urgot's W is going to refresh the duration of the locked on debuff, because right now when you have locked on somebody and you press W, you'll shoot them, and then the locked on debuff falls off, and then you start shooting minions in the middle of a trade. It's not great. So that won't happen anymore. If you press W and you start shooting a locked on target, the locked on debuff will sustain itself through the entire W duration. The E lockout period was reduced. When you cast E as Urgot, there's a slight lockout when you stop moving before you'll start shooting again with W. That's been reduced. And the ult duration, the slow duration, and the reactivation window have both been increased to 4 seconds, so Urgot has a little bit more time to get you low enough for the execute. So Urgot should be feeling a little bit better. I don't think these significantly increase his power, but they do make him substantially better to play. Finally, we have nerfs to Ardent Sensor. I just made a video about this yesterday, and apparently Raito heard my call, as they have nerfed this item. It's very strong, especially given that it's a great rush item. It greatly increases an AD carry's effectiveness while they're still building their multiplicative items. But then the problem is that it also has a great late game because it scales with champion level, so it just becomes increasingly effective as games go on. So that's being reduced so that way it compensates for the early spikes that it gets. The attack speed buff is down to a flat 25%, and the heal drain is down to a flat 25%. Ordinarily, it's both are from 20 to 35%, scaling up with the champion's level. So this should make Ardent Sensor feel a little worse in the late game, but it's still definitely strong as an early rush item. Hopefully, Trundles stop buying it. I really don't like it when they buy it. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Go ahead and let me know which changes you're most excited for down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. If you really enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days like today as well. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you all later.